All right, guys. Sorry, I can never see what this is going to look like until I actually start recording. So I'm going to zoom in here, and today we are going to talk about the discriminant, which is just a fancy word for saying what is under the square root of the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's say we had f of x equals, and one thing I want you to not panic about when you see f of x is that f of x and y are the same thing. So we've been used to seeing it y, but we're going to say f of x and y are the same thing. Okay, so don't panic when you see f of x. So f of x equals a x squared plus b x plus c. Okay, so that's our quadratic function in standard form. Quadratic function in standard form. The formula for the discriminant of a quadratic equation, so just what's under the quadratic sign, would be b squared, or maybe we should put that in blue, minus 4 times a times c. So that should look familiar to you because this is the part of the quadratic formula inside the square root. Let me move my pens out of the way. Part of the quadratic inside the square root. Okay, so that's all that is. So you don't need to panic. And you've already, gosh, guys, when you take your quiz or test, keep that in front of you. You have that luxury of doing that right now. So we're going to say A equals 2, B equals 12, and C equals negative 13. That's all based off of this problem right here. And we're going to plug it into the discriminant. I'm going to talk about what the discriminant tells you in a minute, but first, we're just going to warm up with it. So we're going to say 12 squared minus 4 times our a, which is 2. Pens are flying everywhere. A times our c. Whoops, not a. 2 times our c, which is negative 13. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. And I'm going to get 144 minus 4 times 2 times 13, negative 104. And remember, two negatives side by side, they make a positive. So this becomes 248. All right. That's a positive number. Because that's a positive number, that tells you that you have two solutions, meaning that it's going to cross your x-axis at two places. All right, so it would cross at two places. You have two solutions. Positive discriminant means two solutions. All right, well, let's try this next one and see how many solutions we have. Okay, so we have a equals negative 1. We have b equals 16. And we have c equals negative 64. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug those in to the discriminant. So we're going to take our b squared, which is 16, square it, minus 4, times our a, which is negative 1, times our c, which is negative 64. All right, well, 16 squared is 256, And 4 times 1 times 64 is also 256. Well, 256 minus 256 is 0. And if it's 0, then you will have one solution. Okay, 0 discriminant makes for one solution. One solution. All right, so we have 2 solutions, 1 solution. What about no solution? Well, maybe we'll get there. Maybe there's always a solution. What do you guys think? All right, if you guys want to pause me and go ahead and do this one, number 3, go for it. I'm just going to go ahead and continue solving it. So I'm going to say my A is equal to -4. My B is equal to -10. And remember, I'm just getting these from the standard form of the quadratic, right? My C is equal to 84. So let's go ahead and plug these in. I have a -10 squared, I keep writing it in pink, minus 4 times my A value, which is -4, times my C value, which is 84. And I'm left with 100 minus -1,344. All right, so 2 plus signs. This is 1, 4, 4. Is that positive or negative or 0? It's positive, right? So that means there are 2 solutions. Meaning it crosses your x-axis at 2 places. This would cross your x-axis at just 1 place, right? So positive discriminant. And that would be 2 solutions. All right, well, let's do our last little example. And we are going to say that our A is equal to 3. Our B is equal to 0. Oh, no B there. And our C is equal to 24. So we're going to plug that in. 0 squared minus 4 times 3 times 24. That becomes 0 minus 288, which is a -288, which when you have a negative, it would be no solution. It's never touching your x-axis. So no solution. That's a negative discriminant. So that, if you were to graph it, just go ahead and sketch it over the side. It would be floating off in space somewhere, right? It would never be touching your x-axis. A 0 discriminant would mean that it is on your x-axis, your vertex is on your x-axis at some place. Okay, so 2 solutions, it touches it at 2 places. That's a positive discriminant. 0 discriminant is 1 solution. Your vertex is on your x-axis, just 1 point. And no solution is a negative discriminant, and it's just floating up above or below your x-axis. Okay, so let's just kind of sum this all up here. So if the discriminant is positive, how many solutions will there be? There will be 2 solutions. If the discriminant is 0, there will be 1 solution. And if the discriminant is negative, there will be no solutions. right, guys, that's it for the discriminant. Please come to office hours or reach out if you have any questions. And I hope you guys are doing well. I won't see you soon. Okay, bye.